The White Lotus is obviously over for another year. However, that doesn't mean we have to stop as fans. More specifically, Mike White has been implying that he wants an all-star season, and I, for one, would love that. And by all-star season, he means bringing back some of his former characters. So let's talk about who I would like to see back from every season. So starting with season 1, first of all, I want to see Kai come back in some way. Yes, like, of course he went to jail, but honestly, it's been, what, 4 or 5 years since the first season was filmed and aired on HBO? So listen, he probably could have done his time by now, but also this is the White Lotus, and nobody ever really gets held accountable for stuff they do. And also, I just feel like their story was not over. Like, as much as it was in season 1, I feel like these two could be brought back for something greater. And Mike White, I just really believe in you to bring us back to that moment that we deserved. And honestly, I wouldn't mind the entire Mossbecker family coming back from season 1. I mean, it would kind of be the most in-character thing for their family to do. Like, they're very rich and well-off, and they would probably go back to another White Lotus resort. And again, they gave us that iconic power bottom scene that always goes viral online all the time. It's so good. And if he wasn't dead, I would bring Armand back from Maximum Chaos. But unfortunately, he's dead, so rip. From season 2, Ethan and Harper, listen. I know everyone prefers Daphne and Cameron because of the acting there, but Ethan and Harper at the end of season 2 have essentially developed the relationship that Daphne and Cameron had. We need to see this dynamic as it evolved from season 2 play out in a future season, and that's why I want these two to come back. Also, this was just such an epic storyline to me. I really loved how Mike White was able to incorporate how women and men, sort of like the idea and feeling of anger, jealousy, it looks different for both, and then being able to sort of like have them come back together at the end and get that frustration off at the end of their, season together in season 2. And maybe they should make Harper pregnant. I don't know. We need some type of drama that will bring them back to that season 2 acting that they both had. I would also like to see Lucia and Mia come back. Now, in season 2, they are locals in Sicily, but now if they are able to come back to a different resort, given their circumstances not being the same as they were at the beginning of the season, I would love to see that. And I would also just love to see them as guests. I think that they were just such bright personalities in such serious circumstances, and thank God they were able to get out of them by the end of the season. I think that would be very cool also, just to see sort of like the alleviation of poverty, as well as just the elevation of class, which is something that White Lotus, always deals with. For season 3, I would obviously bring the girls' trip back, but they also need a new character who will bring more chaos. Obviously, these 3 were constantly talking trash about each other. It felt like they weren't going to be back together, and I feel like Mike White should be able to play into that already fractured relationship by bringing in a new character that doesn't per se like one of them, that they get it, but they get along with the other 2. I feel like it would bring maximum chaos and also just, add to this whole idea of female friendships, how things become complicated. And I want at the end to one of them not be friends or not be alive anymore. That's really dark, but I think this would work for this friend group. I would also like to see Piper and Victoria come back as workers at the White Lotus from season 3, and here's why. These two, as seen in the finale, are both accustomed to a certain lifestyle in the Americas. Victoria hates poverty. She literally said she can't stay in Thailand because she misses her rich life at home, to which Victoria was happy about. That means there's already going to be conflict because they're not rich anymore by the time they get back to the Americas. This is something that we need to see. And again, this show deals with class and sort of like the up and down scale of class, being able to go up, being able to be reserted back to working class. I want to see these two work at a White Lotus. I don't know where, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I want to see how these two navigate being working class, potentially poverty, and not having it all again. I think this would be an excellent storyline that Mike White could incorporate into the show. And quite frankly, I think these two were perfect. Victoria is excellent. Parker Posey is excellent. Comedic relief as well. And I think that their dynamic was something to behold, and just a sight to behold, I should say. So yeah. And lastly, okay, Belinda has already been back for season 1 and season 3. However, I want to see these two back on screen again, and here's why. At this point in the series and in the franchise, Belinda is no longer working class, and she's rich. She's got $5 million. We don't know how that money is going to work, but I think she's smart enough to be able to bank it and allow it to grow. Portia, however, is not, and he is going to continue working class. However, he could be in a situation like Belinda was, where he goes to another resort, maybe maybe these two interact again in some way. I want to see that happen in real life because I don't know, like, again, the show is obsessed with class and the idea of like rich people having to learn from their mistakes, and maybe the evil guys always don't get punishment, maybe the good guys do. And I want to see how this new form dynamic and sort of like, I don't want to say abandonment, but just and how they left off, how that could evolve over the course of time in a new season of White Lotus. Also, like, I don't feel like this is over. They really did like each other. Even to the point where the shooting was happening, they were like protecting each other. Like, this is not over, and I think this should be explored. Don't call me crazy. Now, these are some of my suggestions. These are obviously not final, so none of this is confirmed, but Mike White, if you see this, please consider my considerations and invite me to a season premiere. I love The White Lotus so much. I can't get enough of any of those series. I am fully obsessed, and I think the world that you've created is just something that's so brilliant to the point that I would love to be a member of the cast. That's how much I love The White Lotus. It's so cool. Now, I'm going to leave this discussion up to you guys. Let me know what characters you want to see on The White Lotus, if you agree with the characters that I made, or just some of the choices that you don't agree with. I want to know all in the comments below. I will see you guys in my next nerdy pop culture updates video. Peace. And lastly, follow me so you can become a lucky charm. Bye!